Okay, everyone, we're here with Sam Meridian Johnson. Say hello to the fans.
Howdy, guys.
We got some questions from the forums today, so we'll check out question number 1 from Saith. And he said he was really curious about the kind of future that is planned for the Shadowbane lore.
Shadowbane lore, there is no such thing.
Dude, we're filming!
That's all right. Go ahead. Get over there. Go over there.
We're doing a video interview. Say hello to the fans.
Hello, fans.
Put your face
All right.
close to...
You have to stand in the frame. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashton Kai.
Do the dance.
I loved his haircut so much, I cut my own hair.
That's right.
No, do the dance. Do the dance. Do the dance. Do the dance. Yeah. All right. This is madness.
Stop dancing.
Go ask the question out there.
Okay, so
All right, so
what kind of things do we have planned for the Shadowbane lore?
plan for the Shadowbane lore in the future. This is a weird question, but okay. There's a few different ways to look at it. One way would be: is there any lore that we haven't done yet that I want to do? And the answer to that is obviously yes. Most of what needs to be said has been said, but there are a few people like the barbarians and the Amazons and those restricted races that need to get their stories told too. Now, in terms of what kind of lore are you going to be seeing in game, that is going to depend to a large extent on how many people we've got backing me up when we go. But some of the stuff that we're going to be able to do with the feature character program is basically we're going to have people walking around giving new hints of lore that we haven't released yet, but will serve as the backdrops to these events. And if you look, they're going to fit with the lore that's out there. So some of the holes that are there right now, we're leaving them empty on purpose because it'll be really cool when you discover, who the traitor was or other things. But there's a lot of little details that are springing to me all the time, and so we're hoping to get as many of them in game as we can.
Okay,
and if I ramble too much, just let me know.
All right. Okay. Question number 2 from James. Number 2 also.
Oh, wait, one more thing.
Okay.
One more thing. I got to jump back and say, working with the guy on the other side of the camera here.
Bosses.
Yes, what he's been talking about with the Herald program and with the Bard program, there's going to be a chance to have a lot of stuff that you guys are generating become part of the lore. And I'm even talking down to things like weird songs and epic poems about past events and stuff like that. Some of the entries that we got in the short story contest a while back were just spot on great. And I've been in communication with several guilds that have sent me, well, this is our take on this hole in the history, and I'll hammer back with, well, this is really good, but you don't know about this and this and this. And so hopefully we're going to create an environment where that kind of stuff as well, the stuff that I'm not going to have the time to write, is also going to be out there, and it's going to be shared between players and among players, and that's the coolest part.
Woo, good,
okay,
good
sorry.
answer there, Sam.
Yeah.
All right, now the next question is from James number 2.
Okay.
And his question basically says, the lore leaves a great foreshadowing. Will the dragon be awoken?
I'd say that's a pretty safe bet. The other question is going to be, the real question is when and under what circumstances.
Yeah, he goes on to say,
okay.
If so, how will you determine when to awaken it? When Shadowbane is found, or maybe before to make a search harder for it? A couple questions in there.
Again, that's a good one. Well, the fates of the blade and the beast are pretty inextricably linked when you consider how much Dragon Mojo is physically bound into Shadowbane. So it wouldn't surprise me if the rousing of the one and the finding of the other came very close on the heels of each other. In terms of what's going to come first, a lot of that is going to be left up to a bunch of things. In terms of when, though, you can bet we won't do it immediately or do it soon. That's the kind of thing that we're going to want to have a lot of other... you can't really follow up the Rising of the Dragon with much from a story standpoint. It's like, how are you going to top that? Well, So from where I'm looking, there are other stories that we got to tell first. And there are other things... there's a lot of foreshadowing built into the lore already. Not just about the dragon, but about lots of other stuff. And those are going to be the stuff of future mega events and all of that. So give us a bit, we'll get there.
Okay, next question is from Belisar and Therian.
Cool.
He asked a couple questions about the website. We'll move past those.
Okay.
But he would like to get your comment and feedback on the ARAC guilds, or the all races, all class guilds that are forming up in Shadowbane.
In the best of all possible worlds, everyone would read all of the lore and go, wow, this is great lore, and they would jump in and they would roleplay with it. Okay. We obviously don't live in that world. And, I was talking to Warden once, and I was reading the forums because we just put up something that I'd written, and I was looking at all the comments back when I first started here. And Warden said, you realize that, only 5% of our players are actually going to read about that and care about it. And I said, oh, so that's why I'm doing my work here, for those 5%? And Warden said, no, you're doing it for me. And I said, oh, okay. But, so I know that these guilds are going to exist. That's fine. And again, it's like I've always said, we're not going to make you be religious about the lore and follow it. If you get into it, you'll find it worth your while. And if there are ARAC guilds out there who give some justification as to why they're that way, for me, that's totally cool. Just recently, in the beta, we've had Centaurs and Templars working together, and that's not an obvious pairing.
We were just on the website about that.
And they said, could this work? And I said, yeah, it could work. And again, depending on how swamped and busy and huge I am, if people are able to catch my attention, I'm always willing and able to throw out it could work if you went at it from this angle. Most of the combinations that are out there you can do. There are only a few that are really breaking. But
we have another question actually from Urtai. This is actually kind of a long question. It's a pretty good one.
Oh,
it's about the air core.
And
he was wondering